Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another one of those beginner guides. Yep, we're up to guide number three, and we're currently on the Yawning Way account, newest account that I've got. It's actually a little bit of ahead of schedule in terms of me doing this. Normally, I would do this on a Friday, but I figured, I'd take the liberties to, make some guides along the way, just because it just seems a little bit more, I guess, pertinent to the subject at hand. Basically, we started to unlock some things here. So technically, I'm still on day one of playing, but it is day two on the server. Well, I don't know if it's day two on the actual server, but it's day two on the unlocking of the 7 day event. So just been smashing those ones out. Of course, there's always going to be some questions relating to some of the areas, which is fine, absolutely fine. I figured, why don't we try and tackle a little bit of those today in this video. We're going to talk about index scrolls. We're going to talk about a little bit of PvP in the arena, and just in general, what I've done to date. I was going to do a video on summoning, but to be fair, wasn't really too much going on. In a nutshell, what you need to do before you can get into your faction specifics is you need to summon 50 of these regular ones, so 50 premiums up here. Uh, the gift codes, if you haven't checked out the beginner's guide 2, make sure you do so. There is one that we needed to add, which is New Year, all in caps. But basically, you're going to get about 50 to 100 of these ones for free. I think I landed on 78 without buying any packages, which is not too bad. Plus, of course, we had all the gold stacked up because of all those juicy codes as well. So it was enough to buy a couple out. There's actually a rebate event whenever you start the server. So it only goes for 2 days. As you can see, we've already done 110 summons. Honestly, I don't really feel like we could do an entire summons video, but let's be honest, it's pretty generic. You go in here, you summon 50 of these ones regular, and then after that, you click on your faction. You go to Way Nation for this account anyway, and you just summon as is. The only difference in rewards is, of course, the limited pool for epics is only Way Nation, which is fantastic. So whatever one you're looking to orb into, or should I say, token into, I would pick that and then go from there. Um, we did manage to get some good. I mean, I want to say semi-good RNG. um, Honestly, though, I'm not too sure. I'm not too sure because I don't play Way Nation. This is the first time, so at the moment, it looks like we got one, two, three. We got four epics that we could build from there. We managed to star up our healer slash buffer, which is pretty cool. But I mean, we're sort of running Xiaopi to just to fill in that slot, which unlocks at level 14. But basically, the team's going alright. There are a couple of things that I would point out as you progress along in the campaign section. So I would strongly recommend pushing this. Even if you can't get perfect scores, just keep pushing it. I know there's a couple of instances where I can't. Every now and then I'll go back and try again, and sometimes I get lucky and get the 3 stars. But honestly, it's not as important as, say, completing it because, of course, you want to unlock your first feat, which we did. Now, in terms of any sort of tips and tricks, I would recommend if you go into your hero, you see all the gear that's currently equipped to them. Basically, if I was to remove this and I was to say, where do I want to get some items from? Although it's probably it's probably not going to let me do it now, bugger. Um, it will tell you to go to the campaign with that corresponding weapon. So that one would be where is he? Where's Dongjiao? The plot thickens. Oh, Dank Stash. Well, we'll use Dank Stash as an example. So once you've basically 3-starred this hero, you don't have to 3-star. You can just clear it. you have an opportunity to go in and farm them. As you can see, I've already done it. I have to reset, which costs me, well, it cost me about 50 gold. We'll just show you anyway. So then you have an opportunity to blitz the hero. So if we blitz this guy, you can already see we're going to get quite a we're going to get quite a lot of copies of boots. Um, Basically, that's just to deck out your character. So if you don't have them and you click on the little plus symbol, it's going to tell you what campaign actually has that corresponding reward, and then you can go in from there and level those up. Um, as you can see, I decided to get as many as I can, just for the power boost. And, it gives you some minor stats along the way. Also, make sure you're joining the Legion when that unlocks. I think it's level 20. You can just go. It'll prompt you to click on the button, and you just select whichever one you can jump into. It's a fantastic way to grab some resources as people start to unlock their VIP. They get to send out these little packages that look a little bit like this. So you just click on it, you confirm, and then everybody gets a chance to open the package, including yourself, which means you can always grab some extra gold if that's if that's what you need. Gold is king, of course. Crafting a statue will get you silver and legion coins. Basically, just do your contributions and do your gifts, and you'll be fine. It is pretty self-explanatory for the legions anyway. Now, in terms of making some progress on the account, I figured we're a little bit short. We're about 1k gold short to be able to buy one of these premium purchases or the recruitment orders up here. So it's like 2,700. Yeah, we're a little bit short. We'll have to figure out some ways to farm that, and probably that's kind of where it ties into this mission. So it's going to be a part of your missions anyway. Make sure you're making friends. Make sure you're like requesting friends. So if you go to friends, you go to recommended. Basically, just apply to everybody. Like don't discriminate. Just I do what I do, and somebody might come along and accept you. Because you need to be able to obviously gift them 20 times over to fulfill one of your daily missions. As for the feasts, it also applies to your feasts as well. Of course, that depends on your friends being able to unlock them. So, it's kind of a cat chasing the mouse scenario to begin with, but eventually everyone ends up in the same basket. Now, if I was to talk about arena, let's go into the arcade section here. We're going to go into the arena. Now, every day you're going to get 23 fights. I don't know if you've looked at any of the value packages. I guess this would be remiss of me not to talk about it, but what I would recommend out of all the things that you could potentially purchase is subscription. You may not need to use or renew this every month. I do, but honestly, for the first month, it's going to cost you about $5 Australian, so whatever that translates to in your currency. But in terms of progress wise, this is phenomenal. You get pretty much double items and currency from the majority of your events that you are going to be completing every day anyway, but you also get some additional tokens to fight in the arena and refresh in the hero refresh store. But the most important thing is the ability to skip rookie mobs in the story mode. So when you go into the story mode, a rookie mob is going to look a little bit like this. And when you go into fight it, it'll have a skip button down in the bottom right corner. After 3 seconds, you can skip the fight. So it's not a guaranteed win, by the way, but the chances of you losing hopefully is not significantly high. But you can still skip it, win or lose, and it will tell you the results. By far, that cuts down everything by about 2/3, especially in story mode because there's only 3 bosses, and there's about, I want to say, 8 of those fights where you have to skip them. So do yourself a favor if you're a light spender, buy yourself that subscription. It will help you in the end. Trust me, it saves so much time. Now for arena, basically you start the arena off like the baby levels, which is around level 5,000. And you can, of course, climb all the way up to rank 1. Now, my advice is a lot of this is, it's questionable at best. Most of the time, the top legion will already be occupying slot 1. So this guy's got 1.6 million power. Um, not that fantastic, but I mean, like, he's only 2 days into the server, so good job. But basically, you want to be able to push as far as you can. So the strategy is to go all the way up until either the first or the second one below the blue banner, and I'll show you again. And you kind of just want to start skipping ahead. And the reason why is you're going to get some gold as you rank up in levels. The first time you rank up, you're going to get some beautiful gold. See that 236 for ranking up six. I think 700 levels. There is diminishing returns, don't get me wrong. So you kind of just go to the one below the blue and you push as hard as you can. Honestly though, if you're struggling at any point, you can always just pick a easier path. There's absolutely no shame in that. And I'll show you a little bit in terms of some of the rewards when we blitz it. So every day you want to be at least attempting to push here. Try to get as high as you possibly can. Most players will probably end up in the top 100 naturally. So, well, top 50, top 100. Depends how many people are on that server. But you want to just keep climbing all the way up. Now, I got 32 chances. So I hope you're comfortable with me watching and just skipping the war the way through. Most of the time, you're actually not fighting other characters. By the way, you're just fighting NPCs. Um, as far as I know, that's pretty much it because they're just called regular guards and all that sort of stuff. So you're gonna have to keep climbing all the way up until you actually hit the regular players. And as you can see, there's like some corresponding power levels next to them. So I feel like after the first day, depending on your RNG, and to be honest, I really didn't spend a great deal at this point. I probably spent maybe, I want to say $15 in total, including the subscription base. We're still, we're cruising along at 245k. Um, nothing to brag about or anything like that, but it's just a comfortable level without having to push the wallet and without having to, drastically push everything else. I would strongly recommend doing this when you have the free time. It does take a little while, but once you finally get to that comfortable spot, like that sweet spot where you can't progress any further, or where you start to fight other actual characters, like other players on this in this freaking tower, that's kind of where you can chill out and you can start doing the blitzes as well. Well, that's at least the stage that I'd like to get to. Um, Honestly, though, I can't challenge the 10th spot because they're 5 times stronger than me. Kind of be suicidal. The rule of thumb in this game, if anyone's curious, is you can generally beat people that are, 10% higher than your level. After 10%, you're kind of winging it. Granted, you could have a slightly better setup than them, but the chances of beating anyone above that 10%. So for instance, if you had 100 million, I probably wouldn't recommend fighting someone with 120 million. Chances are you're going to get smacked. But you could probably give it a go within, say, 105 to 110 million. You've got a chance. At least that's my observations. And I mean, the Hard Nation account that I play on, we're slowly but surely getting to that 1 billion mark. Um, it's going to take a little while to push that, but I'm excited to play both accounts, and I quite enjoy actually starting all over again and remembering what the fuck I did wrong. There's so many things that I did wrong. So senior guard is interesting. So once you start climbing into the blue banner bracket, or the green banner, we probably should be able to beat some of these guys, but we're gonna slowly hit our cap. So 245. We might be able to beat these guys at 610. And then we can. Oh, no, okay. Let's go down a little bit further. Like as I said, you can get ambitious and try to fight a little bit above you, a little bit below you. Trying to find out where you sort of stand, and then we can stop there because it's day one. If it'll let me, come on, game, don't do me like this. Let's just keep going. I don't want to keep wasting tickets. Eh, honestly, it doesn't want me to progress. Oh well, go figure. Anyway, So we're not gonna keep throwing tickets away at that. Maybe some lower ones. We'll see. Should be able to get this. Not even then. Well, there you go. Anyway, as you can see, we're at 751. That's our position. Now, the one below you, the one directly behind you, you can now blitz with that little sword symbol. So you want to be going in there and just, hitting that blitz button at least 4 times a day because you get 20 free attempts. And basically, what that means, what that translates into is free training pills and, of course, free horns. Now, free horns aren't, they don't really go as far as I would like them to, even on my other account. But let's be honest, you're going to get some additional shards of your first epics if you want to go down that route. Of course, there's no wrong investment strategy here at Arena. But just be mindful though that as you progress in the ranking levels, you'll have more opportunities to unlock like some additional things. For instance, as you can see, more training pills, and then of course we got the crown, which costs 600 horns. So we're going to get the purple crown because hey, why not? We don't really have as many, purple items on our characters as you probably remember, and I'll probably grab some other things out too that sort of strike me as let's do it. Wouldn't mind reaching level 500, but I just don't think we're going to be able to get there, unfortunately. So each day, just if you're curious, each day you can smash this 60 times. You know what, just for the sake of it, let's just purchase one more. So one more token gets you 5 attempts, by the way. Yeah, we're not going to be able to push that hard, are we? Maybe. Let's try this guy again. Again, I'm really trying to suss out how the hell I set White Nation up. It's very different to the Warlord Nation that I do play, unfortunately. Although not unfortunately, I quite enjoy it. Learning these new things. So we're going to grab the additional horns and the pills from that. And yeah, basically we're going to go from there. Make sure you're grabbing your online gift. Warrior Trials is not too bad. We probably will cover that tomorrow after reset. We can talk a little bit about that. We don't want to, bore you too much longer. But I figured, we can do some additional ones here. While we're talking about, progress wise and what gets unlocked, make sure you're snagging your daily rewards because pretty juicy. Um, Before we do any of that, let's finish this out. Let's finish off our rebate because we've only got, I feel like, less than a day or a day. So we are actually going to spend some gold. Not that I recommend spending gold, but the reward kind of outweighs that in the sense because you're going to get some epic equipment. So make sure you always have your nation on the drum. And then you can double check by clicking the rewards to make sure that it is the nation that you want. And then you just do your 10 bomb. I feel like we're in store for a epic pull, but I don't want to jinx it. Hey, we did get an epic pull. Nice. I like you. All right, give me some more epic pulls. Just one more. Didn't want to do it. That's fine. Let's go into the rebate. Let's grab that out. Of course, that means we get a Vermilion weapon. We've fully finished this out. It won't reset, so, it is what it is. If you're curious about the daily recharge, if you choose to you need to spend the corresponding amount of value each day. And then on the 5th or 6th day, you will get the selection chest. If you're a light spender, it's not a bad investment. It's your choice, right? Anyway, let's jump into this. We should probably be able to rank this bad boy up 2 stars, actually. One, and yep, we just had just enough to rank him up 2 stars. I'd actually probably should be looking at his demo to see what his hitbox is. So he hits the same as Machao, one single target. Very, very interesting. Very interesting. What level are we in total? We'll level this guy up anyway. Chao Pi or Cheng Pu or whatever his name is. Which kind of leads me into the next section, which is, of course, the index. Now, there is a corresponding reward, and we're going to talk about that in a second. But what you want to do is you basically, when it unlocks, you just go in here and you activate everything You are going to get power by doing this, by the way, and it gets quite fucking insane. It gets very, very insane later on. When you start unlocking legendary power levels, trust me when I say you can get like 20 or 30 million power just by doing it. And then, granted, I mean, when you're in a billion power, that's the same equivalent. But for me, I enjoy watching it go up such a significant amount. But we're just going to activate some of these things. I don't know if we can level as many up as we would want to. The only reason being is you need quite a lot of these index scrolls. We'll talk a little bit about where to get some, but I'll kind of just want to go through and activate these as we can. And we can talk about the benefits of having a full index. Basically, you can get some additional mini rewards, which is the thing down here, which explains like bonus damage reduction, attack, defense, HP. You can follow along at your own leisure and read what that says, but basically, it's just like additional things for filling out your Pokemon index, your Pokédex, if you would like to compare that to this one. Anyway, let's just go ahead and try and smash this out. Of course, the first time you do it, it's probably going to be as chaotic as this, and then it kind of dies down when you only orb for specific heroes. I probably shouldn't have pressed that button, to be honest. I just want to activate for now, and then we can focus on the ones that are going to give us the highest yield, which of course are the ones with the most stars. Um, in terms of RNG on this game, I would like to point out as you progress along, don't invest any money or energy on getting rare heroes or epic heroes. You will come to a point in the game pretty early on where you would just be able to smash out copies. Especially if you're only doing like limited hero events of one nation. When that rolls around, we'll talk about that. But ultimately, I feel like I'm only one star off finishing out my entire Warlord collection on my other account, and literally there's nothing else for me to do. So I'm like, damn, I wish I never even invested in any of those epic hero shards. It really isn't worth it. It's so easy to get in terms of availability and accessibility. But as you can see, it's now going to let me level up my index because I have some stars on these guys. So it's going to let me do it 2 times. Yep. And it's going to cost me index scrolls. So my index scrolls are slowly but surely going down. But here's kind of like an indicator of how many that I can do to level them up. Some of these are worth 5 pieces and others are worth 10. So if you just want to do it the short way, you just click on here. Click on your little exclamation mark down here and you just go from there. But generally speaking, the epic heroes and the higher star, the epic heroes are the more you're going to be able to rank them up. We can go ahead and just finish them off though, and we'll see where we end up in terms of like raw power. You also do like a little system notification, just as a little, by the way, yawning away, managed to get index score, etc., etc. And there's some additional little side quest bonuses that you can get as well. Anyway, if you are finding this video semi-entertaining, semi-educational, please consider liking and subscribing. We will be continuing this series as we, progress with this nation. But of course, we'll be doing the majority of our events on the Warlord account, which is kind of the pay-to-win account. So we'll be able to cover that in full depth and detail, and I'll talk a little bit about the value analysis more on that account, just in terms of where you can progress and how much money it's actually going to cost you and is it actually worth it. We do have a resident expert. Well, I call him the resident expert. He probably doesn't think he's that. But Royal Tom, he's definitely somebody that you can talk to in the comment section. We have set up a Discord. It is currently chilling at the moment. I will be doing some beta testing to see that everything is going smoothly. And then we'll be dropping the link for people to come on over and join the family. It is called One Above All, and for obvious reasons, that's where we aim to be. Now, I don't know if you noticed, but I was like chilling at about 250k power. After doing the index call, we went all the way up to 443,000. That's how much of a power bonus you get just from indexing. It gets quite ridiculous, as I probably said prior to this. Yeah, so anyway, I figured that was what I wanted to show you in terms of what you needed to do. This is day one, and hopefully, I'll catch you in day two. Thanks, and I'll see you in the next one.